Welcome, everyone. I'm Tracy Fitzpatrick, and I'll be your moderator today. Thank you so much for joining us here at Netcom Learning, a market leader in promoting lifelong learning, training, and talent development solutions. We're very excited to host today's event, Getting Started with ITIL 4 Specialist, Create, Deliver, and Support. Presenting today's topic is Rina. Rina is an ITSM professional with over 10 years of experience in delivering and coordinating IT-enabled and network change projects across the UK and USA for governments and financial sectors. She's also an accredited ITIL trainer, having an experience of managing workplace and desktop solutions, networking and infrastructure, as well as finance, SAP, and SaaS-based applications. Now, please bear in mind that this is an overview of a very robust topic. We offer a collection of technical and business courses that can be tailored to your specific requirements. If you are interested in a further discussion, you can make an appointment with our learning consultants through our website at netcomlearning.com. Today's session is also being recorded, so you'll get free access to the recording in the next 24 hours via email. Netcom Learning helps customers build innovative learning organizations by achieving a smarter workforce, adapting to change, and driving growth. We do this with a broad catalog of offerings, developing customized learning plans, and our global delivery capabilities. Since 1998, we have been empowering organizations with our managed learning services to help them reach optimal performance results and address challenges. We do have 9 practice areas in which we specialize. They encompass people, process, and technology training. And today's presentation is from the Business Process Practice area. Netcom Learning offers a comprehensive training portfolio of courses for the topic being covered today. Our upcoming classes include various trainings on the given courses. You can also access a variety of marketing assets, such as the free training and blogs, by clicking on the available event handout. These offerings can be found with a simple search on our website at netcomlearning.com. In today's session, you can learn how to create, deliver, and support service management with the ITIL 4 CDS. It will also help you understand how to optimize value streams and workflows, and more about deployment management and service level management. And now I would like to give you a quick overview of the logistics before we get started. To begin with, you do have the option to view in full screen by clicking on the full screen button on the right side of the GoToWebinar viewer. Simply hit the escape key to exit the full screen. Everyone has been muted except for our presenters. Feel free to submit any questions you have for the presenters here in the questions pane, and we will address them at the end of the session. And to get the best out of today's events, we've included the slides, courses we talk about, and marketing assets in the handout section of your GoToWebinar viewer. You may refer to them at any time to get a better understanding of today's topic. And we do realize that some of you may have to leave early, and want to let you know that as you do leave the session today, you will be presented with a short survey. We would like to request for you to take a quick moment to participate in that survey. Your feedback really helps us understand your learning experience and improve our future sessions for you. The survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 representing outstanding and 1 representing poor. And now I'd like to pass this over to our trainer to present today's topic. Hey, Rina, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for attending today's session. So in this session, our goal is we are going to give you an overview. What does create, deliver, and support mean? This is a very high level overview. So if you are familiar with ITIL 4, you will know that within ITIL 4 framework, there are several modules broken down by each specific objective in service management. And today's module is ITIL 4 Specialist, Create, Deliver, and Support. As I go through the slides, I'm also going to give you a walkthrough that how CDS fits in with other modules, how CDS can help you in your career, how CDS help you in enhancing, improving, getting better value out of your IT service management. Then we'll also touch on, like what is included, like what practices, what this particular module focuses on, etc., etc. So we've already talked about like what I'm going to cover, but here is the agenda for today's webinar. First is the introduction. Second is optimizing value streams and workflows. So if you have a certificate or if you have studied or read about ITIL Foundation, you would be familiar with, what is a value stream, what is a workflow. Value stream pretty much focuses on you're doing something, right? So in service management, you might be an incident manager, and part of your role is you receive a call or you receive an alert in the system about specific incident, and then you have to take step A, step B, step C in order to resolve that incident. Or you might be triaging the incident, so you're not person who's actually going to be responsible or taking any action to fix it, but you are looking at the information, making an assessment where this needs to be passed, which team is responsible, etc., etc. Either way, whatever is your task, value stream will help you understand, am I getting the value from each of the steps I am performing? That's the and optimization. I mean, I'm hoping everyone knows it's like, how can I get the maximum value? Deployment management focuses on, okay, I have spent X amount of month or days or weeks building this product, building this service, defining this process. I'm going to deploy it. I might be doing um, go live. I might be doing proof of concept. I might be doing some trial. So what does that process, what does those steps look like in CDS framework? Service level management, you know those who are familiar with IT service management, those who are familiar with ITIL framework overall would be knowledgeable, and will have a great understanding of what is service level management. It is nowadays like, they have customer service level management, they have experience level service management, so there are different component. But generally service level management, sometime it is contractual. So like, um, if you receive a credit card and they send you like, a lot of documents with it, and some of them we read, some of them we don't read. But if you would like to, going forward, if you receive a new credit card agreement, have a look. It will say service agreement, that you must make a payment by XYZ date, or we will charge you late fees, or we will give you a statement by 10th day of each month, or for the 6 months there is no transfer fee. These are all service agreements. That means you and the credit card provider agree that this is how we're going to transact with each other. In the same fashion, in service management, a supplier or a service provider, now supplier can be external or internal, same way service provider can be external or internal as well. And then you will have this service agreement in place. So for example, if I place an order on Amazon and I am a Prime member, so most part I will get the delivery next day. That's a service agreement I have with Amazon as part of my Prime membership. Um, if they break that agreement, so for example, I've been a Prime member for last 6 months and I have never received a next day delivery. They say when I place an order that you will get this item tomorrow, but it never arrives. It's always like 3 days. I am well within my right to go and make a complaint to Amazon and say, when I signed up and when I agreed to pay $130 a year, part of the benefit is I would be getting a next day delivery on anything I order on Amazon. And look at this, last 6 months, that's not the case. Now, Amazon customer service, of course, they will have to refund your membership fees, or they have to give you some kind of credit. I mean, whatever that is between you and Amazon, but this is just yet another example of service level agreement and what you can do. So some of these agreements are contractually kind of like a legal thing that the company, a supplier or service provider must adhere to. That's not to say that it will always happen, I guess. So like Amazon example I gave, with the best intention, if you lived somewhere really remote on an island where the ferry is required to bring goods to you, next day is not going to happen, right? So what Amazon can do is they can build some kind of automation. So when you put your zip code, it can tell you real time whether, even if you're a prime member or not a prime member, what is that approximate delivery time looks like, so they don't get like so many similar complaint and having to refund and things like that. So service level management really sums up that you have an agreement in place, you and your customer work towards meeting those agreements. There could be a situation that those agreements are not met, and then right course of action should be followed. And last but not least, you will have an opportunity to ask me any questions and I will try my best to address them. Okay, I don't know why the slides jumped to the front, but there we go. And next one. Okay, so now deep dive into ITIL specialists create, deliver, and support. Kind of said a lot about it so far. So if you are familiar with ITIL, it would make sense. If you're not, and this is your first time, that yes, you did foundation, which is super high level, and now you want to explore like one of the intermediate module. So as it says, it is the core service management program. The core means like this module focuses on creating, delivering, and supporting. So that kind of sums up, right? Um, in previous ITIL version, you would have service strategy, you would have service design, you would have service transition, you would have service operations. So there were like specific module which focused on specific things within service management. In the modernized ITIL framework, they've tried to bundle up, and this is what the module is about. Like it's not talking about just creating something in isolation. It's in this module, you're going to learn about the framework, which is going to help you to create. And then once you create that, it's going to help you with how to deliver. And then once you have delivered, how to support it, right? Imagine you try to do this in isolation. So I'm teaching a class and it's all focusing on creation. So I'm probably going to get a lot of knowledge and expertise on how to create, but I do not have the component for delivery and support model. So I might have hit and miss, or I might need other people to help me with defining the strategy for delivering and support. So this is why I like this module very much. So if you're like in a decision point, like, okay, I did my foundation, what do I do next? If you're in a ServiceNow operational role, sorry, not ServiceNow, service management operational role, this is the module you do want to focus on. So obviously, a lot of ITIL modules nowadays are relevant to everyone based on what your role is. But this one in specific, you could be incident manager, you could be problem manager, you could be change manager. Create, deliver, and support applies to all of them. Also, if you were to study for this module, I can help you with your managing professional designation. Okay. And also, ITIL framework now have a sort of CIPD mechanism where for your professional development that you do this class, you pass, you get the certificate, you get credit towards your professional development as well. All right, so in this slide I'm just going to give you a high level overview on what is the ITIL certification criteria? What does that look like and what we are focusing on today? So, very much on the bottom is your ITIL foundation. Um, it is a must have. You cannot do create, deliver, and support without having an ITIL foundation in place. So, that is something everyone needs to do, everyone needs to pass in order to get to the managing professional path or ITIL strategic leader. We're going to focus on managing professional today because this module overview is aligned with the managing professional. And let's say I did ITIL Foundation and I only do create, deliver, and support. So I can call myself ITIL specialist. That's what the qualification sits under. And then if you did create, deliver, support, drive stakeholder value, high velocity, and DPI, which is a common across a managing professional and strategic leader, you would be certified as ITIL managing professional. Okay, next one. Okay, so we've talked, somewhat about this already, but I'm going to take it step by step. This course, if you were to study this module, it will help you with improving your existing processes. And the reason I say that is because the holistic component around create, deliver, and support, because it's not looking at things in isolation. So, for example, if I'm working at a service desk and I keep getting phone calls or system alert that reset password, reset password, reset password, and majority of my agents are spending their time walking customer through how to reset their password, and that the more important issues are being sidelined in order to improve my process. you know I mean, looking at the data, it would tell me maybe some level of automation would help me. So for resetting the password, the process as of now is you dial this number or you email this contact, and then we call them back and then walk them through. Instead, I could have process documented, and then every time like someone calls, like, so say I'm calling and thinking I need to reset my password, it will say press 1 to reset your password, and then I'll press 1 and it will guide me. The automated telephony system will guide me what I need to do in order to reset my password. I do not need to speak to an agent. That would save time for the agent, as well as will give quick, instant, real-time service to your clients. So this course, after you complete the class, there is so much to learn. There are so many practices. There are value stream exercises. So you will, like the example I gave you, you'll be able to ascertain super quickly that, okay, I have a data point, these are the steps. Is this optimized value stream? No, it's not. How can I do it? It will help you with all of that. Needless to say that if you have sort of efficient processes, you will be able to effectively manage your IT team, right? So if your workload increase, the common reaction isn't you have to go and recruit more people. I guess first and foremost, you might be thinking, okay, so the work we are doing right now, is there a scope for automation? Is there a scope to introduce efficiency, et cetera, et cetera? So this module will help you with that as well. We already talked about optimizing value stream and workflows. Align digital services with business strategy. This is super important in ITIL as well. And this theme you will see across all the modules, but more importantly here, because it looks at the service management holistically. What they mean by aligning digital services with business strategy is, let's say, for example, I am opening a new car rental business, okay, specifically in New York area. And I need zip code search application, and I get several quote from suppliers, and someone says, across the whole US the cost is $50,000. If you do 10 states within US, the cost is $25,000. And then if you only do New York, the cost is $22,000. Just an example. This is me launching my business, and I'm only focusing on New York right now. My subscription to this zip code application is going to be for a year. The difference between 10 state and New York is only $3,000. So using this module, it can help you ascertain what makes sense for me, right? As a business owner, paying 3,000 more for a year, I have an opportunity to expand my business. Let's say I only spent 22,000 and like 3 months into the business, I see there is a great demand. And now I want to add Connecticut, which is kind of next door to New York. So I have to go search again and they might give me quote again, et cetera, right? So it makes sense for me to go for $25,000 subscription with 10 states, and perhaps I will have a negotiation where I do not select 10 states right now. That is up to me. After once the service is up and running, I can add the state depending on my business need. So that's what aligning your digital services with your business strategy mean. Improving how services are developed, right? So that's a same example. So not only my subscription model based on what is my business strategy, but like how is it developed. So for example, if I wasn't thinking along those lines, right, I would just say, okay, 10 states and like here, New York, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Maryland, this, that. But if I am building out this service, I would want a phased approach. Like day one is only New York, so I'll just gonna focus on New York right now. Perhaps Connecticut because it's next door, perhaps New Jersey because it's next door, and that's it. The remaining 7 states, I do not need to decide, or I do not need to think about that development of that service right now. So that's what it can help you with. And then integrate new technologies like embed lean, agile, DevOps ways of working. So you guys may be familiar with the lean methodology, agile, and DevOps. Because we are focusing on the create component, this is important. Like nowadays, a lot of technology projects, a lot of service management related projects, use several different methodology when it comes to delivering a service, building an application, building a prototype. And particularly this framework can help you learn how the sort of complementary, I like to call them complementary even though they are not ITIL, but they are very supportive of ITIL. And if anything, it helps you to enhance your ITIL framework, how we can use this different functionality within the create, deliver, and support model. All right. Key benefit. So this is all like wonderful, right? Because the things we talked about so far, those are like a group level, team level, holistic benefit. What's in it for you as an individual? So if you think about it, you can boost your skills, right? Needless to say, you learn something new. You have, new knowledge. You can decide to pursue to become an expert in this field. You can go for managerial position. You have up to date knowledge. Uh, and you can navigate around the different service management role. I know it talks about digital service economy. It could be for your business, it could be for your company, it could be for you as an individual. It will definitely help you to enhance your career. Now, one thing I want to be mindful when I say it definitely helps you to enhance your career, learning and certification goes hand in hand. I can go to classroom and I can give all my exam and I can get all my certificate because I am just so wonderful at remembering things, right? And I have no clue what knowledge management is. I have no clue what incident management is, but I can read and I can answer question. I cannot enhance my career. Okay, so as you learn the module, as you learn the material, you need to practice it. You need to have pragmatic learning. It's not just about knowing the material, like, and the way the exam works as well, they really like test you on your ability to apply the knowledge. It's not what you remember, it's we've given you this knowledge, how you're going to apply it in real world. So it's really important that the certification and the real life learning goes together. And also it will help you to deliver value. So within your team, within your company, you'll understand what the service quality mean, what improvement method I can use. And overall, like in my experience, I started studying ITIL 10 plus years ago. And from a personal perspective, it really helps me to work, collaborate, coordinate, engage with my colleagues, with my supplier, with my client, with my contractor, because that really is the ultimate goal. It's like people have clarity, I have clarity, we know what we are doing. If there is any confusion, we agree on what process needs to be followed in order to get to where we need to go. Okay. All right, learning outcome. So I know there is a lot in this slide. So if you think about what the course will cover, what are the benefits, and now I have, or I'm thinking of doing this class, what am I going to get? So first and foremost, you're going to learn how to plan and build a service value stream. And like I said, and I'm going to say it again, this is a holistic view. So it's not in isolation that I'm just going to learn how to build a service, and that's it. You're actually going to learn how to build, how to deliver, and how to support. You will learn about all the concepts and challenges that relates to organizational structure, team capabilities, roles and responsibilities, culture across the service value system. This is important because when you talk about creating, there are so many moving parts. So for example, I gave you of opening a car rental business in New York. Think about it. What would you need? First of all, you need budget, right? You need finance. Second, you need licensed drivers, like people who want to work for you as a cab. Third, you need some kind of help desk in place. Fourth, you need a website. Fifth, you need some banking engine. Sixth, you need some kind of permit. Seven, you need marketing. Eight, you need some kind of logistic. Nine, you need some quality checks. 10, you might need some kind of safety precaution. And 11, you need backup for all of this. Okay, so let's say I've got everything, but now my marketing guy pulls out. What am I going to do? So from the planning perspective, there is so much involved, right? There needs to be a structure, there needs to be team capabilities, there needs to be roles and responsibility, and then culture. Culture is a byproduct. Like, no one really talks about culture, but it's there. Like, have you had an experience where you're working for a company or you're going to the university and everyone's like chilled, relaxed, it's like 9:30, the class was supposed to start at 9 and professor is not here and no one cares, right? And you go class to class and that's exactly the same attitude no matter where you go. That's a really relaxed culture school. You could be going, so no one really say like, you know they're not going to advertise like we are so relaxed that our classes do not start on time. They're not going to say that, but you have to be in the school, you have to experience, and then you share. So if you are someone who do not like this culture, you would pull out and you might go to their college website and put 1 star and say, I enrolled for this class, but I noticed this and this and this, right? So future students can read and like make a decision like, I like relaxing culture, I don't like to be in a pressurized environment, so yeah, that's a great school for me. Or no, I need someone, things to happen on time, etc., etc. So I will stay away from that school. So in a similar fashion, in service management, there is an unspoken culture, and from this particular module it will touch on those components as well. So it's a bit like, it's not just technical, it's not just management, it's combination of both. It will help you to understand the value of positive communication. So this is definitely along those culture line, collaborating with other people, partnering with other people, engaging other people. It will also help you to do planning and management of resources, like the example I just gave you, right? So it can help me, how am I going to plan resources? Some of these things are related to project management as well, but this particular module touches on that as well, and the value and use of IT across the whole service value system. So let's say in my business, I just talked about, I do need set of, this different people with different capabilities. Create, deliver, and support module is not going to help me writing a job description. That's an HR component. Okay. So the reason I mentioned that is like, I don't want someone to think I study this and I can set up my business and I can deliver services and I can support it. It only focuses on IT. Okay, IT, technology. That's what it focuses on. I can't write job description using this module. What I can write is roles and responsibility part within the job description. So for example, for marketing guy, my business strategy is online. So of course, there is going to be a lot of applications and system they have to manage. I can put that, but it won't help me to start A to Z on the job description. It can also help you discover how the relevant ITIL practices contribute to creation, delivery, and support. So, um, the stuff I just mentioned now, it's very high level, right? It's holistic. It's about planning. It's about team capabilities. It's about communication. It's about collaborating. It's about creating value. The practices are very specific. So they focus on, if you are familiar with ITIL Foundation, you would have heard about, various practices like service request management practice, incident management practice, problem management practice, change management practice. So in this module, you will explore all the practices that can help you design, develop, and transition. It can help you how to provide better user support. So I'll reiterate is the holistic view of creating, delivering, and supporting. So you will touch on practices which are going to help you to do that. So, for example, there is a practice called incident management. Incident management will be focusing on the support element. There is a practice of change management, release management that will be focusing on delivering. There is a practice about architecture, hardware management, software management. Those practices would focus on the designing component. Again, these practices are not exclusive, so you can talk about incident management when you're actually creating as well, because maybe you want to have like a whole end-to-end picture. So it's perfectly okay. One good thing about ITIL is that it never imposes how things needs to be done. It gives you set of tools and tips, and then it's up to you to pick up the tool or the tip or the process or a practice or a framework which is applicable and relevant to your particular organization, to your particular team. So it's quite flexible in that fashion. Okay, and last but not least, you will learn how to actually do it, how to create, deliver, and support. So, how obviously, nowadays IT is a fast moving business. So we have to learn how to prioritize, how to structure, how to coordinate. We also need to learn that, for example, in my car rental business, I do need to make a decision that am I better off going and subscribing to zip code services rather than building one myself? Like if I were to build one myself, it might cost me more than $25,000 because I need to have a developer, I need to have some kind of infrastructure. I need to have, access to certain licensing software, and that may end up costing me a lot more than me just subscribing to Google Maps, just as an example. So it can also help you with those things as well. All right, and that pretty much sums up our, high level overview of create, deliver, and support. So like a last few words, if you are considering studying for this module, I would highly recommend that you revise your ITIL foundation before attending this class, because it will make reference to practices and the concepts you have learned during the ITIL foundation, and then it will expand. It will expand on your ability to understand the foundation level and how to apply. So I'll just give you one more example. Let's say I have studied the create, deliver, and support module now, and I work for a publishing company. I work for a global publishing company, and they are thinking moving away from their Office 365 to Google Work Suite. So, and I don't know, I am the infrastructure manager. So, and I have just finished this Create Deliver Support module. So day one, I get invited to the project management meeting, and I'm being told what is the objective. We're trying to save some cost. So therefore, we are moving away from Office 365 and going to the Google. And they show me like compare and contrast to say what are the feature in Microsoft right now, and then what are the feature we are going to have. And then obviously the list is bigger in the Google side. So like this is being sold as a not just a cost cutting exercise, but it's going to be more enhanced and better user experience. So if I'm the person who knows about how to create, sort of optimized service for my clients, so I would be asking, what is your time scale? What does that support model looks like? How much is the storage per user? How can they archive? How can they get access? Is it available on cloud or is it on prem? Can they log in from anywhere in the world? Like, these things are important and at the create level, because if you don't ask all of this and you just move forward and then you realize that, well, it's a cloud hosted platform, but for the authentication people need to be in US. It's really not going to work because we are a global company, right? So you will do those kind of things at the outset without making any guesses about how this service is going to be created, how is it going to be delivered, and how is it going to be supported. Now, let's say from the create perspective, it meets my expectation. Now we come to the delivery component, and we are a global company. We have people in different time zone, and they are saying, everyone on 31st of March at midnight will be switched over. That could mean in Australia, they will be not working. It's Saturday. They're not available. So it's really not acceptable. Plus, it's like doing a big push at once for all the employee in the company may not make a sense, because if they do not work, it's going to be really paralyzing in terms of how they can communicate. So from my perspective, I do want a phased approach. I want some sense behind it. I want limited user first, and then that's successful, then next set of limited user, so it can be managed and controlled. So if it doesn't work, it's not like everyone in my company can't access their email. So that's number two, the deliver component. And then last but not least is the support. So at the time of, creating this project and moving forward from Microsoft to Google, I would be asking right now, if this doesn't work, we have a designated number for Microsoft. We call, we have this SLA, and then we check in Google, do we have the same? They say, well, there's no number, it's only chat. Then I would be like, well, I want to try it out, because what I have seen, these charts are automated, don't make sense, user get frustrated, and they really want to talk to someone. So again, it's my opportunity using this module to make sure that as we transition from Microsoft to Google, we have all the right level of services in place. And with that, this webinar concludes. If you have any question, you can ask me now.
Thank you, Rina. That was very informative. I know everyone is looking forward to the Q&A session, so go ahead and start putting your questions into the questions panel. And now I'd like to give the presentation rights over to Robin, our vendor manager, to introduce our promotions and webinar-related courses.
Thank you for extending to me this opportunity to speak with our attendees. First of all, I would like to thank everyone for attending this webinar. I sincerely hope that it added value to your knowledge of IT service management. And in case you feel like revisiting this session for any reference, please feel free to do so by clicking on the access recording button, and we would be more than happy to make it readily available to you. Next, I would like to offer you a glimpse of Netcom Learning's capabilities and why we are the best that there is when it comes to learning services, training, talent development, and beyond. I take pride to announce that Netcom Learning is the winner of 2023 Microsoft US Learning Partner of the Year award. Netcom Learning has been into the managed learning space for 2.5 decades now and have provided its services to 80% of Fortune 1000 companies. Having a strong reputation in B2G sector, Netcom Learning has served over 100 US military bases. We have trained over 1 million professionals to learn and grow in their respective fields across 36,000 enterprise clients. We also cherish a recommendation rate of 96% from our customers. All the numbers I've just mentioned have been a result of our specially curated trainings delivered by a portfolio of 3,000 plus certified trainers. Moving ahead, being an authorized ITIL learning partner, I would like to announce Netcom Learning's upcoming schedule of courses from ITIL that are highly recommended to expand your horizon and knowledge of IT service management. To add value to your learning curve, we encourage you to access our free on-demand training and blog post related to IT service management. You can also take advantage from Learning Passport, which is Netcom Learning's solution to a flexible team training. It is designed to be customized in line with the number of learners you plan to train from top technology vendors like Microsoft, Cisco, Adobe, ITL, and more. This single package can be redeemed over 4,000 official courses with a validity of 12 months. Keeping in mind the requirement of our customers, you can further choose from Learning Savings Passport or Learning Voucher Passport as per your need and requirement. Next, I would like to introduce you to Netcom Plus Learners subscription, a learning solution that we have developed for our enterprise customers. All you are required to do is invest one time and reap the benefits of the unlimited access to authorized trainings from top vendors like Microsoft, AWS, Cisco, and more through a span of 12 months. As displayed on your screen, we deliver this subscription in three type of packages. The free or the silver package allows you to access 300 plus e-learning modules, or you can go for gold at $199. That would give you an access to 400 plus e-learning modules along with silver package benefits. Third, we have for you our best selling and most popular platinum package at $2,999. That gives you an access to 400 plus e-learning modules plus 100 plus virtual instructor led training programs in addition to the gold package. We would also recommend you to go through Netcom's website for more information, such as courses and certifications, our free virtual events, blogs, saving programs, and promos. In case you need a leadership point of view on the importance of lifelong learning and building smart workforce, we highly recommend you go through the book Building an Innovative Learning Organization by Russell Sarder, CEO Netcom. You can easily find it on amazon.com. I sincerely hope we could add value to your knowledge of IT service management in the time you choose to spend with us during this webinar. For more information on such sessions and latest updates on IT and business training, please follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Thank you once again for joining us.
Thanks so much for guiding us through all that information, Robin. And now we're going to go ahead and jump right into our question and answer session. If you haven't yet, it's not too late to pop your questions into the question panel. And as we start our Q&A sessions, we're also going to launch a quick poll that we want to invite you to participate in. Doing so helps us to know how we can better serve you by telling us who might be interested in more information or in taking some additional training. In addition, we have a lot more informative webinars coming up, so please go to netcomlearning.com/webinars in order to register. First question we have today is, how would this help my career?
It would help your career as much as you want it to help you. Okay, joking aside, this is a serious question. So it depends on where you are right now. So, for example, I am now working as a service desk agent, and I have just completed create, deliver, and support module. You have an opportunity to apply for managerial roles, and the reason I say that is, your knowledge around ITIL and service management isn't just at the foundation level. It's a, it's specialist, it's a bit more mature. You can participate in a project discussion, you can participate in a customer service meeting. So definitely it will help you. If you're at the analyst level, if you're at the junior level, it will help you to get yourself to a managerial level. If you're already a manager, it can definitely expand your scope in terms of, getting more work, getting to a senior manager position. Now, putting all these titles aside, for me as a, like, a person who started ITIL journey 10 years ago, I started as a business analyst across service management, then vendor management, then change manager, then, coordinator, then architect, etc., etc. So one thing I would say is it definitely helps you to advance your career. No matter which position you are, it will take you a step further. I hope that answers your question.
Next question, what does the exam for CDS look like?
So the exam is now multi-option, and like I said in the webinar before, it's pragmatic learning. So it's not rote learning, it's not what you can memorize. So I give you an example. In the exam, there will be a question that which of the following practices are applicable to design a service? And then it would say architecture management, incident management, problem management, and HR management. And then they'll say select two. So nowhere in the class you are going to learn that this set of applications apply to create a service. I mean, we talk about so many different practices. So it's not rote learning, it's like looking at the practice and understanding what is the objective of this practice and then answering the question in that fashion. So we talked about how HR is not applicable, like, writing a job description. So you can say definitely no, and then I have to select other two. Incident management really focuses on the support side. So that means the other two are correct. So that's just one example. All the questions are multi option questions. They are not easy by any means. You really required, focus study and understanding of the material you learn.
Let's take one more question before we have to wrap it up. Do you provide any certification for this webinar? No, we are currently not providing any certifications for our webinars. Once again, I want to remind you that as you leave the session today, you will be presented with a short survey. We would like to request for you to help us by taking a quick moment to participate in that survey. Your feedback really helps us understand your learning experience as we are constantly looking at how we can improve our future sessions. The survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 representing outstanding and 1 representing poor. We want to thank all of you for joining us today, and if you do come up with any additional questions, feel free to send them to webinar@netcomlearning.com at any time. We hope that you found today's webinar informative, and we look forward to seeing you back here with us soon. Feel free to tell your friends and colleagues about our webinars and other courses. Have a great day, everyone.